Republican Senator Mike Lee joining us right now on some of the latest drama going on in Capitol Hill. And Senator, we're hearing from Josh Earnest at the White House that a shutdown is not an option. What do you say?
I hope he's right, and I'd like to see us move in the direction where we return to what we call regular order spending, where Congress, having passed a budget, which we did this year for the first time, then passes a dozen different appropriations bills, each funding a different aspect of government. We need to return to that standard that we've departed from over the last 6 or 7 years.
Well, I guess by that you mean to include groups like Planned Parenthood, right?
Well, yeah, but in each question. So in some cases, we wouldn't necessarily be addressing Planned Parenthood funding. When we go to fund the Department of Defense, for example, as we tried to just a couple of months ago, but were filibustered by the Democrats in the Senate, we were stopped. But we were trying to fund the Department of Defense, trying to fund defense operations.
No, I know what you were doing, Senator, but I just want to understand so I can keep track of this drama. The administration has already made it clear that if there's an effort to defund Planned Parenthood and attach it to a threat of a shutdown in that event, if you don't get that he will not be a party to that, and a shutdown would be on you, and there's all hell to pay, blah, blah, blah. What do you say?
And I can understand perhaps why the president would want it to be that way. That enhances the president's power, I suppose, when he can put us in a position of being able to say, okay, give us all or nothing. And by the way, as the president told us last week, he told us basically, unless you not only fund Planned Parenthood, but you also increase spending, and you go over the spending caps that have been put in place by law, then I'll veto any of those things.
Well, it sounds like he would be willing to, in that event, to avoid that. He would blow those spending caps, and the onus would be on Republicans to explain how they had forced a shutdown, that the onus would be on you. How would you respond? Yeah,
well, that's exactly why I get back to the point of saying we've got to get back to regular order appropriations.
So why not do what Mitch McConnell said earlier and John Boehner said earlier, shutdown is never, ever, 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 ever on the table?
Well, as I explain in my book, Chapter 9 of my book, Our Lost Constitution, explains that when we put ourselves in this position...
You waited this long to bring that book in. I give you credit.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, you gave me the ultimate tee up there, Neil. I had to do it.
Sure.
In Our Lost Constitution, I explained that when you put Congress in that position, where you tell Congress you have to fund either everything or nothing, you've got to keep everything funded at current levels, making no adjustments whatsoever, or you fund nothing. It produces really skewed results.
No, I agree with what you're saying, and I think Mitch McConnell does, I think John Boehner does, other leaders do, including yourself, obviously, but that this is something that as a tool backfires on you, and they agree in substance with what you're saying, but that it's a zero-sum game for Republicans, so they wouldn't even entertain it. McConnell, the most forceful, saying that it would never be an option. You seem to be telling him now it could be an option.
Well, I'm not saying that anyone wants a shutdown. I don't think anyone does. I know no Republican wants a shutdown. What I'm saying is that you put Congress in a terrible position, in a position in which you never know what's going to happen. Because when everything is on the line and Congress is told it's got to fund everything or nothing, you don't know where the votes are going to come from. And it's difficult to predict in advance whether you'll have everyone being willing to go in that direction.
Well, you saw this data on a calendar. Both parties saw this data on a calendar. It shouldn't have come as a Fox News alert. So why weren't you guys ready for this?
Well, that is an excellent question, and I'd love to see us move in the direction where we don't have to get toward the end of the month. But we do have 15 days left between now and the end of the month. Okay. And in that 15-day period, I'd love to see Congress moving forward, passing as many spending bills as we possibly can.
All right. Senator Mike Lee, thank you very, very much. We'll have more into this. Give you the update on the markets here and the latest.